Over 30 protesters, including at least 16 elected Democrats, have been arrested at a pro-abortion rights rally on Capitol Hill.
Care that much about the lives of so many that are in trouble right now. Either there's going to be horrific incidents of loss of life, of women who are pregnant, who desperately want to have those children come to life, and yet who will be at risk.
Police say they gave 3 warnings to the protesters, ordering them to stop blocking First Street up on Capitol Hill here in Washington. After the protesters continued to disobey police orders, the authorities moved in and made the arrests. Among those detained, prominent Democrat Congresswomen Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, Ilhan Omar and Jackie Speer. Later, the lawmakers were fined and released. The overturning of abortion rights is now a polarizing issue between America's 2 main political parties ahead of the midterm elections this November. Many Republican states have already tightened restrictions on abortion, in some cases outlawing the procedure completely, while Democrats have stepped up their efforts to consolidate abortion rights. So back to Susan Tehrani, live with us from New York City on the broadcast today. Susan, so we're hurtling towards midterm elections in November. President Biden and the Democrats definitely would love the November congressional elections to be effectively a referendum on the overturning of Roe versus Wade. But what do you think is in the minds of voters? Because there are an awful lot of other pretty major issues at the moment competing for their attention.
Right. You know, as we see in these demonstrations, there are a lot of young activists, very vibrant, taking to the streets, trying to get their voices heard. On the one hand, you have a lot of fundraising from the Democrats. You know, they've been very energized as well. Will it have an effect? Absolutely. Will it really move the needle and have the fundamental effect that the Democrats hope to have? Probably not. Notably with the president's approval ratings at an all-time low, and gas being, you know, $5 a gallon, a little lower, a little higher here and there, Americans are concerned about so many other issues than, you know, the issue of abortion right now, which, you know, we've said this before, we've talked about it. For the majority of Americans, they're not to the extreme of being so right or so left to the issue of abortion. The majority of Americans really fall somewhere in the middle when it comes to the abortion debate. And for all the theatrics that we saw yesterday, hands behind Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez's back with her invisible handcuffs, Ilhan Omar as well, you know, we have to hand it to them. The headline-grabbing theatrics was good for the time being. Will it sway the voters? I think more important issues are on Americans' minds than what we saw yesterday and what we'll be seeing about Roe v. Wade moving forward.
And we will continue tracking all of it right here on WION Live Broadcast. Susan Tehrani, WION's correspondent in New York. Thanks very much indeed for joining us on both of those stories today.